Hello, everybody. My name's Milan Starcic. Welcome to Freedom Rising, a podcast dedicated to empowering individuals on the journey to personal growth, lasting serenity, and freedom from addiction. Tune in and join the movement. Your journey to freedom starts here. We neither represent, promote, or demote any 12-step program or organization. We are merely souls on the path of recovery with the desire to expand our lives and experiences and share them with you. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to the 121st Recovery Freedom Rising podcast. I'm Milan Starcic with first-time co-host Alex Tilley. Could you
Hello.
please tell us about yourself, Alex? I want to say thank you for coming on because I love you excessively.
I love you excessively, and I'm so happy to be here. And I appreciate you asking me to come on today. Yeah, my name's Alex. I am in recovery. I am coming up on, I'm like 7.5 months in. I entered the rooms about 13 months ago, so it's been a journey. Feeling good where I'm at. I am from Kelowna. I am a musician. I am an artist. And I am going to be um, carrying on in my studies this fall to be a social worker. So that's kind of where my life is. I like art and I like helping people. Um, and life is pretty fantastic right now.
Life is so
Life is
fantastic.
fantastic.
I love that. Oh gosh, yeah, I met Alex. We were in the same home group, and we our paths didn't really cross, but then we sort of chaired the meeting together and realized that we were like soul besties.
Nice.
You
Yeah,
know, like
for sure.
it was amazing. We had so much fun. I got look at us. I could just
I
giggle
know.
thinking about it.
You
Okay,
just make me giggle.
I um this is a question I ask everybody the first time they're on because it's different for everybody. Like, and I think it's good for a newcomer to feel like, "Hey, that wasn't quite like me," but like it's good to hear that everybody kind of has different moments. And so, what was the pivotal moment when the program sparked a recovery fire in your heart?
Ooh, I love that so much. A pivotal moment. Um, oh God, I mean, there's been so many.
And
Uh,
that's it usual, but there's
right?
generally
I
a
think
turning point where it goes from I have to I love to.
I love that. Okay. I am a product of treatment. So I went to treatment last year for a 60-day stay.
Any shout out to a particular place?
Yeah,
I
shout
shout
out.
out to options all the time.
Absolutely. So the Oaks Wellness
Okay.
Recovery Center, they are based in Salmon Arm. Shout out to Braden. It is a wicked cool place. My life changed because of them, so I really owe them a lot. And so I was in the treatment for the first 30 days. I planned on only staying for 30. I was like, I'm in, I'm out, I'll be fine. And, day 29, I'm calling my dad and I'm like, I can't leave. Like I'm not done. I'm not feeling like I'm gonna be okay when I leave this place. And I was still just pretty miserable, right? Like you're thawing out in treatment. So all the feelings were coming back and I was like, I am nowhere near done. Um, and I kind of like I was unhappy. Like I was like I was still in the I have to. I was still in the well like AA sucks. I don't get it. I'm not going to be one of these people. And I was like in the treatment center there, they encourage us, they to do the steps, to find a sponsor within the community. So I waited and waited and I pushed it off. And then I met this wonderful woman, Paris, in the community who started taking me through the steps. And I was still one, two, three. I was like, I kind of believe this God thing. Like, I came from a religious family, so like I grew up in the church, but my relationship with God was never good. Um, I went from being a little kid loving God to being atheist to being agnostic to being spiritual. Like I was just all over the map. Um, so I made the decision to turn my will and my life over to God as I understood Him. Um, and then the magic started happening, and it was after step 5 with her. It was like 8 hours of this gorgeous, deep, um, like just weeping and laughing and a really incredible experience. And the next day, I was walking around the center, and like the people, the support workers were like, "What's up, girl?" And I was like, "I don't know, fine." They're like, "You are different. Like there's just this calm air about you." Um, and I was like, "Oh, that's what this feeling is. Like I like this. Like I'm okay
Serenity.
to, oh, this is what they're talking about." And I just, yeah, and that's when it started to click. Like I like this version of myself so much better. And like I started putting on cute outfits and my makeup, and I was like, I kind of like myself now. Like I was still learning to love myself. But I was like, this is kind of cool. And like that spiritual experience we talk about where people notice it before we do. And that's totally what happened to me. Like everyone was seeing the shift in me, and I didn't really realize it until I was a bit farther out. But that was kind of the moment where I was like, oh, this step stuff, like there's something to it. And like I'm really enjoying this. I'm enjoying the process now. I'm not fighting it tooth and nail, like just, get me through this and get me out. I was like, I actually never want to leave this place. So yeah, that was kind of my pivotal moment.
I love that.
Yeah.
I don't think I actually experienced serenity until I was in the program at all. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
you see me like I'm kind of a hummingbird,
Mhm.
and I was always like 0 or 11,
Mhm.
and it was always super. Like I just never wanted to stop at that serenity point. I was like, no, got to get beyond
Keep
this.
going. Yeah.
But there is such a calm,
Yeah.
peaceful, relaxing, just feeling of satiation when you're in a really, real serene spot.
Totally. And I
Yeah.
totally relate to that, like 0 to 11. Like I thought when I was like my mania, like I was like, that's joy, like that's happiness. But really it was just like that false sense of happiness, just trying to cover up whatever was underneath. Like it wasn't, there's that place, serenity is in between those two, right?
Mm.
And
I always like it now. Like I've been thinking about it a lot, kind of being the crazy obsessive addict mind that I am who thinks about recovery all the fucking time. But to me, serenity is a 6 or 7. Like there
mm,
is a feeling of neutrality, but serenity is just like that positive side of
mhm.
that neutrality. Like I'm not wondering if I'm dipping negative in serenity. Like I'm
Yeah,
feeling good.
yeah,
There is generally a joy inside serenity for me, and joy is above neutral. You
yeah,
know,
right. I
yeah.
love that, yeah, that nails it on the head for sure.
So I've got some questions ready for you.
Yay, okay.
And when possible, I will answer them too after.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
just the topic for today is coming back. What's different this time? And so, can you explain to everybody why you wanted to talk about that here today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is like my longest stint in recovery. Finally, like I'm feeling good. I'm feeling pretty solid. I never want to say I got this. But I feel good. And reflecting, it came up on my year since I entered the rooms, but I didn't take my year trip. I have relapsed 3 times. And I think it's a really important thing to talk about and like normalize and take away that shame. Like as soon as we talk about it, it takes the shame away from it, right? Um and reflecting on that time in my recovery, like, and the difference that there is now. in my life. Like what is it? Like what did I do different?
Hmm.
Why am I so successful this time when I couldn't get past 60 days? It was a 60-day, nope, 60-day, nope. Um, and I just think that's it. Like so many people in the program relapse, and it's just a huge part of recovery. So like why do we do better the next time? Why does just the whys um and the fact that it's okay, just come back.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think, I haven't had a single friend who's relapsed where I haven't been anything but so grateful that they're still alive and that
Right.
they are coming back, like they, the internal fabrication of the shame, I
Mm,
can see, and because I had countless white knuckling experiences before I hit the program,
mm,
where like it was like 17 years of proving I was freaking not powerful, because that I finally had to admit that powerlessness, and it certainly every time it feels like a failure, like what's morally broken with me? What's going on here? And it really wasn't until I came in this program and saw that, it's about my conscious contact with my higher power. It's about getting this vessel ready and close to like that serenity.
mm.
Because anywhere else, I can have the greatest, fastest case of the fuckets on earth. Like I can be like, holy shit, like I'm gonna burn my life down. Here we go, fuck it,
Yep.
and
Here
it's
we are.
gone. Yeah,
Yeah.
over and over. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
kept hitting that fuck it button. And
yeah.
like whenever it got a little bit hard, it was like my will took over. Like I did not give it up to my higher power. I didn't ask for help. I
Mm.
just went, well, like I can do this. I'm not yeah, the step one, the most important. I was not convinced. And I think that was my biggest thing was like I am going to prove that I have some willpower left over this.
Mm.
I'm just gonna have one drink. Like I got this, and I
And
did that 3 times and ended up drinking for 3 days. Like,
I think maybe it would be a good time for us to stop and talk about reservations.
woo, yeah,
Because reservations really, um, reservations are one of the things, and for anybody who's brand new out there, reservations are like that little card you put right here inside your breast.
paste in the
Like,
back pocket.
yeah, where it's just like that's something like either, for example, when my mom dies, I'm going to go use, but it's also I can have just one. Like, and it's something that takes away your definition of that first step of powerlessness.
Totally.
Like it's still saying, I just got a little bit of power here.
Hmm.
I got some power. But one thing I think that a lot of people don't realize, and that you don't see it necessarily so clearly defined in the literature, whatever, but is that the act of still wanting to drink or get high, that is a reservation.
Mm,
Like, and so when somebody's not really ready to quit, you can't commit yourself entirely when you still want to.
yeah.
Like you have to like, for me, my bridge was burnt to the ground. Like there was no, like there was it was just ash, and I was ready, and I wasn't before that.
Mm,
Like I just wasn't. And I think that it's really important that that you search out your reservations in
yeah.
step one. Like what is it? Is there something? Because if there is something, you've got to come to terms with that one way or the other, I think. So, okay,
Absolutely.
question one. Coming back doesn't mean we failed. It means we found the courage to try again, knowing this path still calls to us. What does your return to recovery say about your strength, not your weaknesses?
Mm, does everything. I think that I didn't give in. I didn't give up. um, I I've looked at myself like I am living in self-pity, that I was weak and that I had no control over it and there was nothing I could do. And, once I was out, I was out. But, that next day, um, that that push came back, that fire that like, no, like I can do this again. I can try again. And I think that makes me pretty badass. And coming back and like sharing my story too, I want that to encourage someone else who is sitting there in their relapse going like, okay, well, like she's
I
talking,
can't go back. I can't
yeah,
go
I can't
back.
go back. No, like I wear it like a badge of honor that I came back.
Mhm.
Like that takes a lot of strength. And I think I have more of it than I think I do sometimes.
I definitely think you do. You're not you, this lady here is not a mediocre. Let me tell you that. No, I
No, she's
like
a
amazing.
fighter.
No,
And I
you're
use that
strong
like
and
that feistiness for good, right? Like I was
yeah.
kind of scared of it. I'm like, no, like fight for the good, fight for my recovery.
Yeah, and I think that that's amazing, and I think that it's inspiring to other people.
Mm,
You know, like some people are like, "Oh, where can I get the strength?" But the one thing I've learned inside this program is like we're all like this diamond, and all we got to do is polish this, and we're
mm,
like actually this shiny, beautiful thing with strength inside. Like all the things that we're trying to grasp for externally are actually inside us if we just give ourselves enough love to glow, you know?
and like give yourself the chance. Like
Mhm.
what's the worst thing that can happen coming back? Well, like you could feel kind of shitty about yourself. Okay, we're gonna get through that together. What's the worst thing that could happen if you stay out? You die.
I, yeah.
So,
I have a friend who's chronically relapsed, and, in 2024, he was only high 7 days,
mm,
right? But, it was seven separate relapses, and
yeah.
like that's the least number of days he's been high in 20, 30
Wake
years.
up.
Like,
Yeah.
so you can't discount the trying just because of the odd setback, right?
Yeah.
And,
And
and,
that's a
and,
healthy
and for
fear.
me, like for me, I know that I don't have 1 day relapses. Like
Mm,
I'm like a catch you later, burning shit down.
right.
Let's just see you when the forest is on fire. Like, and,
Totally.
and I'm just, and I can't. Like
Yeah.
I really am scared shitless.
Yeah.
And it's a healthy fear.
That's
I
a
was
healthy
just
fear. Yeah.
talking with,
Yeah.
I just had a session with the sponsee right before this, and you know, he's like, I want to be afraid of that
Mm.
rock bottom forever, and I'm like, me too.
Yeah.
I'm like, because like there's healthy fear, like chainsaws. I don't want to grab one. Like, like there's things where it's
Yeah.
like
Fingers in a
it's
forest.
healthy fear, like in sharp knives, like don't put it through my body.
No, thank you.
Yeah, but and dying from drugs,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's a healthy fear, and so
Absolutely.
I really kind of for myself just to cradle that gift of desperation.
Mm,
Like I'm like, I really hope I never forget that feeling.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know. Okay, number two. What's different this time is not the steps, but our willingness to work them with honesty and humility.
Mm-hmm.
How is your willingness deeper and more genuine now than before?
Hmm. In in a lot of ways, I think like like I mentioned before, like step one was so important. Um and I remember the first time doing my set of steps, I looked at them as kind of a checklist. Like, okay, we're good, we're done that. Um and I didn't realize that it's like a constant way of living. It's an every we do the steps every day. You don't do the steps and you're done. And I didn't really grasp that concept. Um, and like it wasn't, my sponsor's fault. It was just me not really understanding the program. Um, or me just kind of not wanting to. um, and through my relapses, it was me testing step one. Like, that's the promise in step one, is that we will drink again if we do not um, continue on. And, um, you know, um, I think it's like important to me for me to talk about alcohol versus my drug of choice. Um, so in when I went to treatment, I went because I was a drug addict. I had no idea that I was an alcoholic.
Me neither.
I was like, wait, what?
I was like, oh, I got that one licked.
You don't drink whiskey for breakfast? What are you talking about? And I educated myself on it. And, a week into treatment, I was like, I called my buddy. I was like, I think I might be alcoholic. And he just burst into tears and went, finally. Have you
Oh,
seen? Oh my
okay.
God, we've all seen it. And I was like, no. Well, you never told me. You never told me. And they said, oh yeah, we did. You just didn't listen.
Ooh.
So that was my biggest reservation in Alcoholics Anonymous, was alcohol. So I I was like, I knew I had a drug problem. I knew where it would take me. But I didn't want to give up drinking. And I was really bummed about that. And so I wanted to try to prove to myself that I was an alcoholic. And I learned quickly that I was. Um, and I think I was a case that needed to relapse for me to get it. Like, I don't recommend it to anyone, but for me, I didn't hit my bottom. Like, I was a high bottom, and it wasn't it wasn't enough for it to click. Um, so when I came back that last time, um, I fully conceded to the fact that I was alcoholic, and I was like, hey, you know what? I'm picking up these steps again, and I'm gonna try this. I'm try this one more time, and it'll be the last time. The last time I tried to convince myself that I am not alcoholic. And I I found a sponsor, another sponsor here, that I really related to. I love her with all my heart, and um, we just kind of call each other like besties that take each other through the steps. Like, we work with each other, we bounce off each other. Um, and I went, I'm not hiding a thing. I'm gonna be really brutally honest about all of my reservations, about all of my harms done. Um, and I've done them in, like, in just, it's been a different, deeper, more honest way that I've connected with the steps. Um, my first set, like, in my resentments, I was really, really afraid to take any responsibility and to list anything that was my part. I had so much anger towards um, the trauma that I've experienced. And I couldn't let that go. And, like, that anger ate me alive until I drank again. And this time I'm being way more, like, brutally honest with myself and going, like, hey, like, this is something you can take responsibility for, and don't be afraid of it. And I have someone that I can just, like, talk to about it. Um and I'm feeling that burden lift higher and higher off of me um through this set. And, I'm what are we on now? We're on step 8, and it's been fantastic. um it's I'm feeling the freedom from it in a totally new sense.
And so, would you say that that willingness is getting you to like be more thorough on
Totally.
every step?
Yeah. I'm like,
Mm.
I'm not rushing through it. The first time I was so excited to get to step 12 that I was like, okay, go, 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 we're good. We're done. Next one. And now I'm like, oh no, we're gonna take our time. We're gonna go real deep. We're gonna take it if we need another week to really think about this one part of it, then, like, let's do it. there's no rush. We can do the steps for the rest. We are going to have to do the steps for the rest of our lives. So slow down.
A lot of the people I know with really good, sobriety or clean time or whatever you want to call it,
Mm.
they do them almost every year, once out a year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like kind of like an annual cleansing. It's like, where you're doing a spring
Mhm.
cleaning on your house, but in your soul.
Totally. Because things get built up real quick. And if we're not like super diligent about our 10 and 11, um, then yeah, the dust in our house is starting to pile up, pile up. So I love that idea.
I heard it described by an old timer. He said, you can squash the ego. He's like, but it's the fastest growing weed on earth.
Straight up.
And so it's just like that perpetual inventory
Mhm.
has to be
Yeah.
happening because every time you squash the ego, it comes back a little sneakier. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's like for myself, my willingness for sure is higher than it's ever been. Like
Totally.
I kind of felt like I'd kind of plateaued out a little bit this winter, and what the source for me was that I had a great surrender for my addiction. Like honestly, I've been so lucky. I've never had a compulsion or the obsessive thought to use since then. I know, like I'm like I really feel lucky for that. Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's not like there's no bragging. It just was my
yeah.
miracle, and so. But what that taught me was that, like this surrender they talk about, right, is a really real thing. But what happened was is that I kept trying to work on my defects. Like after 52 years of me being the shittiest anger remover in the world, I'm like, I'm going to hire Milan. He's going to get rid of this anger. Like instead of surrendering it, like all my defects, I just wasn't surrendering. And so I had a guy come on the podcast in mid-March and he said, this isn't a program of self-improvement. This is a program of surrender. And it was
Mhm.
like I just got slapped in the face because I was thinking, man, have I ever been trying to self-improve?
Yeah.
Like I like on that front, I had been really like I got to work on this anger, and
Mhm.
even just that sentence shows that I'm completely thinking of it the wrong way.
Totally. Yeah.
And so since then, I call this the great resurrendering of 2025,
Love
and so it's like the turning point in my life where now I'm just absolutely, you know, trying to pray gratitude in all circumstances, and re-surrendering that on a daily basis, giving gratitude for for the love that grows in my heart that's replacing fear, for the faith that's growing inside of me that's taking away my anxiety, like actually having gratitude for the struggles that are giving me this surrender and the
it.
faith that I'm experiencing. And it's a really profound change in my existence. And what it's done though is it's like reignited my passion in the program, which was not already low. Like it was
Yeah.
already high,
Yeah.
but
For
it's like,
sure.
but it's just amazing.
I
And
love
the people
that.
that kind of keep coming in my life. And so it's been like my current last 2 months of my life really have been themed about freedom and surrender.
Mm,
It's just been like, man, if that doesn't make you want to work for something, like the feeling of those two things, you know,
that's so beautiful, Milan. I love that.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we haven't really caught up in a while either. If anybody doesn't know us, Alex and I really haven't had a conversation probably since the end of March,
I know. Yeah.
something like that. Because I kind of go into the meetings down here now,
I
and
know. I miss you.
I know, though it was something though like this. I went to the roundup down here,
Mm,
and I realized I'm like I'm never gonna have a local community
mm,
unless I'm in a local group. And I just realized that it's like I was giving myself part of my recovery coming
mm.
up there for meetings. And I'm like, I really actually just wanted to take it a further step. And so
Yeah.
it's not that there's any lack of love for
No
the group,
doubt.
that
Yeah.
group. Like, man, I love that group forever.
Yeah.
But it's just that we're not going to hang out on a Tuesday, Thursday, and
Yeah.
Saturday. Like, that's just never going to happen.
And that's so
We could
important.
plan on a Saturday, but
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. Like that. I think that was another big change was like going to meetings and then leaving and then not seeing anyone or talking to anyone in between. Like
yeah,
that is
like
so huge to create community and to reach out and like the friendships that have now flourished. Because I'm not hiding, I'm not running away after the meeting.
Yeah,
Going like, hey,
exactly.
like I'm so vulnerable, I'm gonna go hide now in my self-pity. And
And
now I'm
that
like, I
doesn't
call someone, right?
it doesn't give you the benefit of being around like-minded individuals.
Totally.
And like just giving someone a ride to the meeting.
Yeah.
Man, sometimes I'll have the coolest recovery conversation on the way there and on the way home. And I'm like, that was better than the meeting. You want to just go drive
Yeah,
around for a little bit?
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20 before and 20 after, like that's where some magic really happens.
Especially after a good one.
Oh,
Ooh,
I stick
man.
around for as long as I can, like until those
Yep.
gates close.
Yeah.
And I have a key now, which is so fabulous.
Whoa. Look at her.
I can stay all night with my
You're part of the
people.
amalgamated union now.
I know.
You get free
Because I
dental?
have a new my new home group is Friday nights.
Okay.
And it's
Where
just
where is it? Which group
at,
is it?
it's
Shout
at
out
the
to your group.
oh, shout out to my home group, best group ever 2.0. Um,
Ah,
Young at Heart at Friday at 8 at the Colano Club in Kelowna.
oh,
Um,
cool.
it is so cool. It's like we turn off all the lights and have Christmas lights all year round, so it's really a vibe in there. Um,
Nice.
but it's like I love Monday Night Beginners. I needed a little something different.
Yeah.
Like I still go. But I now that I'm really in like the guts of the program, I want to like talk about that. Like I want to move deeper
Yeah.
into it. And I think like I'm getting so much from that group, and I still get so much from Monday night. And like you get different stuff from every meeting. You get inspired, but now I'm creating like this group of friends in the Friday night that like I'm really putting an effort in to like making these my people.
Yeah.
Love them so much. And like I was just so new and so scared on Monday night to like, I was a member of the group for months before we even really spoke, right? Like I
Like
was
6 months at least.
yeah, I was like, okay, I'm here now. I'm just gonna sit in this meeting. Like, like, no, I want to actually make real connections. I think that's huge to me is like having friendships outside.
I have two different home groups now. Like on Thursday nights, so tonight it's this little NA group. It's in the old Soyuz Indian Band chief's office in the old building, but
Cool.
it's like 6 to 8 of us in around a table, like candlelit.
Mm,
It's an NA one, and then on Wednesdays it's a nooner AA meeting, and it's all couches.
nice. I love that.
I was like, they
Getting
had me at comfort.
cozy.
I was just like, so, and that one's usually about 15 people. And so
Nice.
they're,
I
they're,
love that. Nice and cozy. Yeah.
yeah, it is like, it's funny to go to. I was just saying to my sponsee today, I'm like, I could go to the Thursday night meeting. Everybody can share 8 minutes and we still leave 10 minutes early.
Lovely, right?
Like, it's just
But it's
crazy.
good. Like everyone gets to share, everyone gets to feel seen.
I feel like that's a really important thing.
I love that. I love small meetings for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's, those big meetings. I remember like my personal experience is like, I would really like to share, like, I'd really like to get some shit off my chest, or like, I really want to hear from this certain person. And then it didn't happen because it was obviously there's not enough time in the
Yeah.
hour. So having I go to small meetings when I'm like, I'm really hurting. And I need that like really one-on-one connection.
Hmm.
I find them really, really helpful. Like doing like big book studies. I find those a bit smaller. And
Yep.
yeah, really being able to like just come as I am.
There's a nooner big book slash step work study that's just started in Asoyas, and it started this week, and I went, and it's pretty cool. I was like, okay, what's this going to be like? But they got like kind of like a workbook and everything, and they're like, we want everyone to put some pen to paper, and it seems really
Cool.
great. Yeah.
I like that.
Okie dokie. So each return is an invitation to dig beneath shame and rediscover the dignity that never left us. What part of you still believes you're worthy of a new beginning?
Mm, that inner child. in me is something I've been really nourishing. Um, she's the one that I keep giving second chances to, and like keep, pushing her that like I deserve that second chance, right? Um, that that little girl is in God's image. That is who God made me to be and who God wants me to be. So when I reconnect with her, like I'm reconnecting with the person that like I am meant to be. Um, so really just knowing that like if I look at myself in the mirror as that little girl, like I would never tell her she's not worthy and she's not worthy of fighting, of a life that is beautiful and fulfilling. And that she doesn't deserve to be loved because she does. Um, so yeah, just that self-love, man. Self-love. That makes you feel, yeah, worthy to come back. Yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
a lot. It's so great to have you here. I love and appreciate you, Alex.
I love you, Milan.
So, what part of me believes I'm worthy of a new beginning? That was a tough one for me because, man, I did some pretty despicable things and hurt a lot of people I loved. Like I was pretty good at being self-centered,
Mhm.
and I was so self-centered I couldn't see I was self-centered.
Yeah.
Like I remember the counselors at the thing, and they're like, "You might be a little bit self-centered." I was like, "Who me?" I'm like, "I'm pretty fucking generous, man. I don't know what you're talking about." Like I couldn't even see it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
uh, and so yeah, it wasn't until somebody I was at a meeting somewhere, and it was like, or one of the groups, and it was like, somebody was talking about the concept of like that we're like that our soul is like this perfect like white light, right? But who we are in addiction is like our disease acting on it, kind of covering that up. But that little perfect soul's still in there. Like, tell me there isn't a point where even when you were doing the most despicable things in your most wasted thing, you knew you were making a wrong choice.
Totally. Uh,
Like I know, well, I'm like doing the wrong thing, shouldn't do this, and just like
mhm.
still doing it, you know.
That's
And that
our
was
true self, right? Speaking to us.
exactly, and I just and so I really kind of have embraced that, that purity, that goodness is inside us, Like I don't have to make myself good again.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to make
Honored.
myself
Yeah.
the right vessel for goodness, and part of that really comes from, rest, diet, exercise. Like if I'm not sleeping, you can guarantee I'm a dick.
Mm-hmm.
Like I will be a grumpy, tired dick all day long. And then, for me, what happened was I was more of a tea person most of my life, but I started drinking coffee a little bit near the end of my addiction. But then in recovery, man, at the treatment center, coffee was like, it
Yeah.
was ridiculous, and
Another
it,
crack.
it did not, it did not do well inside. Like I have never gone serenities in the bottom of this coffee cup. Like it just makes me reactive and not really somebody that I like
Mm.
for me. Like
Yeah, yeah.
and so I've switched back to tea now. Like I've
Mhm.
had like 3 coffees this year, and like low impact, right time of day.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but but it was
Out
just
of the
getting
way.
crazy. Like I felt like that was running my show in the same way other drugs had.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, ready for another one?
Let's do it, baby.
And if you think of a question you want us, whether it's related to this topic or not, I want you to ask it to me.
Okay. I mean, you have such good questions. Like,
But it doesn't matter. Like we all have good questions. That's the whole thing. Okay, we don't come back empty. We come back with experience, with scars, and a deeper hunger for truth. What hard-earned wisdom are you bringing with you this time?
ooh, see? Good questions. Um, oh, hard-earned wisdom. When I picked up, I picked up. It was me. It was the only I was the only one who did it. Um, but I put myself in situations with people, places, and things that were not safe. Um, and that's all on me, that I put myself there. But that was a really tough one to admit that um I couldn't save everyone else. Some people weren't safe for me to be around, and I didn't recognize that until it was too late. I wasn't at a point in my recovery where I was strong enough um, to protect myself and to say no. Um, I was still living in reservations, so at the first opportunity I had, I took it. Um, so that was really tough for me to learn how to say no to people. I'm a people pleaser. I'm the savior. And I was trying to pour from an empty cup. Um, and that took me out. So knowing that like it's okay to say no and it's okay to say like I don't have the space to give you anything. Right now I'm going to love you and support you from afar, but I am no help to you if I am no help to myself. Um, so that was a real tough one because I want to be there for everyone. I want to help everyone, but like, is that really just my ego going like I'm I'm gonna be the one to help you instead of just saying like I love you, but maybe try talking to someone else, maybe try talking to this person. They might be more beneficial to you in this moment. Um, so yeah, that was a tough one. It was kind of a bummer for me, but it was a huge lesson that I had to learn. That yeah, and these are people that I loved, like love dearly. Um, and yeah, I wasn't able to say no, protect myself. And now I am. Now I feel confident that I am.
Do you like what ratio of your friends would you say are like in the program versus not?
Um, I have one best friend who is a normie. She has been my like number one support, biggest cheerleader through this. I love her to death. Other than that, I think most of my friends are AA. Yeah,
Yep.
the people in my life that are not in the program are people that really understand me and like know me on a deeper level. And they kind of have an understanding of addiction. I don't think I can like it's really hard for me to relate to people that don't understand addiction because it's recovery is my life. And
Yeah.
I don't really know what to talk about recovery. Like, yeah, let's talk
Yeah.
like, well, what? Like, I don't understand this. So yeah, I mean, and people that, you know, it's a tough one too, because not everyone in the program is healthy. Um,
No.
and I learned that the hard way,
Clean
too.
time does not mean
Holy
recovery.
shit, yeah. And I'm learning to trust my instincts more because that's my higher power speaking through me. And my instincts are leading me to the right people. God is leading me to the right people. I have found such solid friends in the last like few months in the rooms that I didn't have in the first six. And I really like as a newcomer I clung on to other newcomers and like we took each other out. That was just a disaster waiting to happen. So now I'm trying to connect with people that inspire me and um that I know are good and good at this program. Like
Yeah.
really good at it, like you're good at it. And that's yeah, those are the people I'm surrounding myself with. So yeah, most of my life is AA.
It's really funny. Like, we're in this program where
Mm.
we're not supposed to judge, and then they say stick with the winners, and I'm like, whoa.
So true.
I'm like, I'm like, I'm like, whoa, whoa,
Boy,
hold
you're
on.
telling me to judge these people?
Well, like, okay. First of all, what are you judging by? right? Like, because like can, I watched someone with considerable recovery at a meeting a couple weeks ago, literally cross talking like shit shame someone and blah blah blah, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
that is like that is so dangerous to a
Yeah.
newcomer,
Yeah.
you know, and
That's
so
so true.
like if you are not practicing the principles in all your affairs,
Yeah.
you're not working on your recovery,
Yeah.
you
And
know.
that's kind of what that's how I like, yeah, it is so true that we're still kind of judging people, but I'm
But just judging this way.
but just judging them in this way. Let me just
Like
put it this
all
way.
we want you to do is pick the winners, but don't talk about the losers.
Yeah, for sure.
But like losers sit over there because I want to hang out with these ones.
But if something like if I see something like that, it doesn't sit right in my heart. Um, then like I know, I pray for them as I would a sick friend. Um, but that's probably not the person I'm going to get advice from if I need it,
Mm.
right? And um, but it's just the acceptance and tolerance of people and knowing that I love all of you, but I am not going to like all of you.
That's it. That's it
And
right
that's a
there.
tough one too, because I'm like, well, we're supposed to be very like peaceful, loving people. Like, why do I still feel like I this person kind of irks me? And
Because we're
that's a
not
tough one.
perfect.
Because
Because we're not.
yeah, and what are they doing that pisses me off? Oh, it's probably something that reflects my my shortcomings. And more often than not, it is.
For sure. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what we don't like in others is
Is
probably
what
what
we
we
don't like
hate
in
in ourselves.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you ever read or listened to any of the Michael Singer books? Like The Untethered
The
Soul?
end of the soul. Okay. So before before I went to treatment, I was like, I'm a self-help guru. I'm gonna do
Ooh.
this myself. I
Yeah.
have a stack of books, including that one that I bought that I was like, I have not opened a single one.
Uh,
They're
I
sitting
recommend
there.
listening to it then if you can't crack the book. But
Okay. I've heard such wonderful things about it. So
it like
definitely
I'm
I'm
kind
gonna
of
check it
cruising
out.
through his collection on Audible,
Mm,
and man, there is some real pearlies of wisdom there.
nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Loves that.
Okay, so okay, I got a question here, kind of in relation to the last one. So, what was the hole in your program that you think caused your relapse?
Ooh. Mm. I think it was God, I mean it was a combination of things. One of the biggest ones was my lack of self-love.
Mm.
So I did not feel like I was worthy of a sober life. Um I like my oh my God, my comparison to other people is one of my defects, and it's something that took me out, and I went like I'm not as bad as you. I didn't hit that really low bottom. So watch me. And it was like me proving to myself and me just like punishing myself. And like that is the absolute opposite of self-love. Um, I looked for love in people, in other people, and I tried to use them to fill that hole inside of me. And, instead of um, accepting my defects, finding forgiveness for myself for the harms that I have done, I lived in them. And I was so angry at myself. And I couldn't give it up to God. So it was the lack of self-love and then lack of connection with my higher power. Um, I stopped talking to him. Like I didn't even think to give it up. I heard this thing at a meeting. Someone said, have you known anyone who relapsed who prayed that day
Ooh.
to have God take away that thought? And I'm one of them. No, I didn't even try. Um,
I'm gonna start asking people. I
right?
want to know.
Right?
Seems like
And like
like
and he was like, everyone raise your hand. Like seriously, raise your hand. And no one did. Like,
Yep.
Yeah, that's not usually the in the day of someone who is relapsing, they're not giving it up to God. They're just right back in self-will.
So when you're talking about self-love, can I
Mm.
ask you a couple questions? Okay, so have you done a full set of amends?
I have my first one, yes. My second set that I'm doing, there are amends that I didn't make along the way. So if I was doing a proper set of steps, I would be doing, step 11,
Mm.
or step 10, and um, and praying about it, and then and and making and apologizing in the
Mm.
moment. Um, so there, yeah, there was a lot of things that I missed. So I don't think I did, I didn't do the proper full set. There's also one amends that I want to make that I'm not ready to. Um, that
Ooh.
one's a tough one, so that's one I have to. But I
Getting
instead,
entirely ready. No.
yeah, be entirely ready, and I'm not entirely ready. And instead of praying about it and asking God for help, and to prepare and to let me know when I'm ready, I just um I just got angry about it again, right? Just flipped right back to a resentment. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, wait wait a
That's
second.
not supposed to work like
No,
that.
no, no. You're going backwards, babe. No. Yeah, so that's
There was a guy who came on that online meeting that I was doing for a long time, and his name was Ans. Shout out to Ans, one of the greatest philosophers I've ever met. This guy is like, he looked like a little kid out of LA, but he talked about amends.
Mm,
And to him, amends were like this. It's like, imagine I got your name in my phone, right? And I owe you amends because I stole and I lied from you, right?
mm,
And every time Alex calls me, all I don't see Alex, all I see is liar thief, liar thief, liar
mm,
thief. So until I make that amends and clear that out, it's like everything around me in the world is something that's going to make me self-loathe and feel shame.
mm-hmm.
And so then he was like, until we can get those amends cleared,
Yeah.
we can't burst through that layer
No.
that's self acceptance, let alone self love.
Yeah.
And then if we can't get through that layer, what's the chance I can love you?
Mm.
You know? And I really loved, he put it way better than I did. Like, that was like the
I
bastard
got you.
15 months later version. But
Yeah.
I was so inspired by it. I was like,
Yeah.
man, I'm going out making amends right now. Like,
Totally.
I'm like, I don't know what I'm sorry for, but I'm sorry for
But
something.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry I don't feel like him.
Totally.
So on the reason right now that I'm doing another set of steps is because I was listening to this other guy, and he said he never really felt the relief from the program until about 20 years in, because he had never been taught how to do a step 4 on beliefs.
Mm.
And so, like, he had cleared out his resentments, but he had never cleared out his, like, childhood negative beliefs about himself. Like, I am not beautiful. You
Yeah.
wouldn't like me if you really knew who I was. I'm stupid, or just like all those self limiting things that maybe were said by someone else, but that we carried that torch of them for all these years. And so this time, I'm going to do my inventory on beliefs.
Mm. I love that.
Yeah, like to me, when I heard him say that, I'm like, man, I'm like, it was physically bullying where I grew up, but that it had just as dirty of a mentally bullying side. I know, like everything he said, I was like, that's me, that's me, that's me, me. Right?
Absolutely. I
And,
think
and
that's
and it's just I think that there's just some things that he said that for him it was like the fundamental turning point
uh,
of like the freedom for him inside the program.
mm, yeah, I know my first set I didn't put me as like number
Ooh.
one. Like that's so big. Unless you can forgive yourself, like there's no way like I could touch the rest. And yeah, that's what I really focused on, that on this set is like my resentments towards myself, the beliefs that I held so close that I'm so afraid to let go, because like that's my norm, that's my comfy,
Mm.
the way I look at myself in the mirror, like that's what I'm used to. Um,
That's it. And that's a dangerous place to be when it's
it
not
is.
good.
Yeah,
Because I mean, when it's like that, it's just somewhere we want to run from, and that's
yeah,
our home. That's
it is.
us. You know, like I really, really, without starting the amends, it didn't matter if I had put it in my step four. I couldn't get past those resentments without actually, because a lot of those resentments had to do with how I had treated others,
Yeah,
and it really took the external amends to do, to actually, you know, to say what I do. Like, they're like, it's one thing to write down,
mm,
like, I am a liar.
mm,
It's another thing to look you in the eye and say, I lied to you
yeah,
and I should have been honest.
no,
And, like, that is just like, that step takes a lot more courage,
yeah. Oh,
you know,
these
and,
are
and, and
so
but
scary.
it's also a lot more freedom.
Yeah, that's where the freedom. Yeah, the step
Because,
nine
like, I've
comes in.
only had one amends where somebody wasn't like,
Yeah.
where they, like, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Like, I even said to my sponsor, I'm like, man, he's like, shouldn't go into men's with any expectations. And I'm like, how am I not supposed to think it's going to
You're
go good after a
still a
bunch go
human
good?
being. Yeah. You're still worried about rejection.
I
Like,
know, I
yeah.
know. It's a,
It's hard to
it's,
leave that feeling warm and fuzzy when they're like, yeah, fuck you. Like,
detachment is a
yeah,
massive part of this program
yeah,
because it's really where the freedom lies.
yeah.
But
Like, what can I
like, it's
control?
like the opposite of everything that we've, if you watched 3.5 hours of TV growing up, they say there's 15,000 commercials a year.
Mm.
Like, I'm like, I've got so many commercials packed in, like my programming on this side, and then I'm like got two, the NA book and the A book, read a couple, like I'm like, I'm a little bit heavy on the other plugging side. Like, it's gonna take some time
Yeah,
here
to
to make some
reprogram
changes.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm having fun. I'm so glad you're
Oh
here.
my God, I
Yeah,
love you. You're amazing. I
this
feel
is great.
so wonderful being here. This is so fun.
I think, you were like, yeah, I don't know, and I was like, I'm like, this is gonna be like us having
Promise, it will
fun.
be good. And
Yeah.
like I think, yeah, because like, yeah, we did have to reschedule because of me.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's also like something to talk about. Like my self-care was like it was garbage last week, right? Like, recovery is not a steady incline. It's up and down and it's not linear, it's back and forth. And um I going through step 6 and 7, my mindset was all wrong. I was really living in that like, well, these are all my defects. I am such a piece of shit. Like that's a horrible way to think of it. And I got kind of depressed. And when I get depressed, I don't take care of myself. And um I wasn't sleeping. I was eating unhealthy. I stayed in bed and I was just wallowed in it. And I looked in that dark pit and I was like, this is my normal, comfy, safe home. I'm gonna go back to that. Um and then I forced myself to climb out of it because I know I am strong enough to. Um, and once I did, I was like, oh, this is why I do what I do. Like, God, this feels so much better. This new comfort I feel is so much better. And instead of looking at that list of defects, I focused on my assets.
Mm,
And with every defect I have, um, I am not strictly that. I am
mm,
also the opposite. So when I am judgmental, I'm also very open and compassionate and caring towards people. Like I can live in both of them. It's just trying to live in the other one a little bit more. Uh,
mm.
but letting God help you do that, right? And just having that openness and that
Surrender.
surrender that like I am a
Woo-hoo.
human fucking being and like everyone has those things. And I heard that I was doing a reading in a CA, and one of the readings in step 6 said you will one day be removed of all of your defects, and that will happen 30 minutes after you die.
Yeah.
Hell
Whoa.
yeah. That
I
is
love
so
that.
good. I was like, okay, I like that. Like, take the pressure off, mama.
I don't think they ever go, step
No.
6. One of the best things about step 6 was one of the ladies had a relapse and was back in treatment when I was there. And
Mhm.
we like wrote out like all the resentments on a page, and
Mhm.
we put an arrow from them all to what, like if it's anger, that's like love,
Yeah.
and to the positive one.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that which we focus on becomes greater.
Totally.
So either we look at the list of defects or we look at the things we want to become and we pray to become them.
Yeah.
Thank you for that faith you're
Right.
bringing me. Thank
Yeah.
you for that tolerance you're bringing me. Thank you for that acceptance.
Yeah.
And that's a really, I found that to be one of the most uplifting parts of the steps.
Totally. Yeah.
Like to be able to reframe it like, oh my God, this guy who's got 48 or 49 years in the program closed out the meeting with this yesterday. Can I tell you a joke?
Okay.
He said, why are orgies and meetings like each other? He's like, you always come out feeling better and you don't know who to thank. I thought, like, and this guy's like 76. I
Literally,
don't even
that's so
know.
good.
I was laughing my ass off. I thought it was
That's
the
incredible.
best recovery joke I've heard yet.
That is so good.
Whoa. Wayne Parker, that's his
Oh my
name.
God,
Love.
Wayne.
Shout out to Wayne Parker.
Shout
And he
out, Wayne.
brings his dog, and it's the cutest
Oh,
dog.
that's amazing.
I like dog bringers.
Mm-hmm. Me
Yes.
too.
Okay, so I got another question.
Okay.
The program hasn't changed, but maybe now we're finally ready to surrender to it fully. What were you holding on to last time that you're ready to let go of now?
Ooh. Um,
We're going deep.
I'm going deep. Oof. What was I holding on to? Um, I mean, old Alex. Um, I I still am kind of grieving her. Um, so like in my addiction, I was a partier. And I was the fun, loud girl at the
Oh,
party,
yeah, you would be.
obviously. If I'm still crazy sober, imagine. But it was like yeah, I was just kind of holding on to that, like, um, will I ever be that person that I liked? I did have moments where I did really like myself, and it was fun until it wasn't. Um, but am I ever going to be able to be that confident without my drug of choice, without my drink? So yeah, holding on to that belief that like I wasn't ever going to be her again, and like and it was hard. Yeah, it was hard for me to let go of that version of myself, because I that was my identity. It was like yeah, she always has a drink in her hand and a cigarette, and she
You're Amy Winehouse.
exactly. And I was like,
Like,
I'm too cool. Right? I don't, yeah, like that was that version of myself. I was like, oh, like she is the Stevie Nicks, like, she's the fun party girl, and she won't be as cool without having a drink in her hand.
you're pretty fucking cool without it,
But
actually.
I'm way fucking cooler.
It's true.
That's the thing. Like I was yeah,
Because you're actually awake,
I'm
okay? Like,
awake, and I was fucking insufferable when I was drinking. Like, no, I thought that I was no, and no, I annoyed a lot of people. I was hurtful. I was feisty. I I wasn't myself. So yeah, this version of myself is so much better. And um, as especially as an artist, as a creative, I was like, I'm not going to be able to make the music or do the art that I make without um, being in that altered mindset. That's where my inspiration came from, I thought. Um, Now the art and the music I make is 10 times better.
Me
It's
too.
something, yeah,
I
right. It's actually genuine. It comes from such a realer place. Um, and yeah, like letting go of that idea that I needed substance to be who I was when that in fact was not at all who I was.
love that. That
Mm.
was awesome.
What about you?
Okay. Gosh, what question did I just ask you? I got lost in your answer. Like I was so into what you were
I'm like
saying.
lost. I know. I was like, wait, where did I start? What were you holding on to?
Oh, last time that you're ready to let go of
And
now.
I'm ready. Yeah.
Yo,
Tell
you
me
know,
yours.
so like I thought going into treatment was going to be like they would show me how to go to a party straight and have
Mhm.
fun.
Mhm.
Like, and what I didn't realize was that it's just like I don't need the party.
Ah.
Like I'm actually having so much more just like immediate self-sustaining serenity and joy. It's like, man, I don't even need to leave my room sometimes. I'm just having so much fun on my own, right?
Yeah.
But on top of that, like I don't I don't like that part of me has been really hard to let go of because I mean, man, I was a real good people pleaser.
Hmm.
And there's growing pains with my loved ones from that because I'm just not willing to pretend I'm somebody I'm not anymore.
Totally.
Yeah, and so that,
Thanks for that.
so like letting go of who I used to be, like you were saying, that that wasn't such like that wasn't as hard emotionally
Mm.
as it is habitually for me.
Yeah.
Like 51 and a half years of like, and 37 of that being inside addiction. Like, it's like, hi, growth, stop, repeat, repeat, repeat. I got real good at repeating. You know,
Mhm.
of course, by the end, it was a show nobody wanted to watch.
Yeah.
Really, like, I mean, and it really devolved a lot right near the end. Like when they say it's progressive, like in 2020 I took 18 months off. Oh, so right now this is the straightest I've been since 7 years old. The
Wow.
first time I got really drunk, I was 9. So
Hmm.
that would put me to 7. And after that, there was never a period of
Yeah.
20 months that I've ever been straight. So this is kind of crazy.
That's
But
crazy.
so it's a real journey of self exploration and learning.
Mhm.
And I think one of the things that I mean, I would say, I'd like to say that I'm letting go of now more than anything that I'm trying to is really the surrender of like my defects. Like I felt like nobody could fix me like me.
Mm.
Like, and I'm sure that it was 100% like that's all I was trying to do. And I want to like let go of my expectation of who you should be
Mm.
because I know what's right. Like that's my hardest, like my sponsor said to me, your three biggest defects are 95% of your life's problems. And I
Mm.
believe that.
Mm.
And mine are like
Yeah.
intolerance, acceptance, probably and anger. Right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And well, maybe throw some honesty in there. Let's like if I'm being honest.
There you go. Growth.
Yeah. But like, it's really
Uh,
there's so much to think about though. Like, I mean, I feel like I'm incrementally letting go of a lot of different things though.
mm.
like one of the things, like, young Gabriel from the meeting,
Of course.
Gabriel said to me, he's like, I feel so much less ambitious inside the program. And I was like, hmm. And then I thought about it and I'm like, like, I'm not really going for money. Like, I really don't care about money. Like, the things that I want are so inside my soul.
Yeah.
Like, that it's not like, I'm not like, can't wait for that car, can't wait for this thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just not, I'm not, and I'm not like, oh, I better shower you with a gift because that means something, because it doesn't mean something to me. Like, that's like a people pleaser action. Like, like, if you're gonna invite me to your birthday and think I'm buying you something great, man, you better not invite me in recovery. Because I would have showed up with like the big 6 foot panda bear before and been like, Mr. People Pleaser, look at the polka dots on this
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But now it's like, here's a card. I love you. I
Yeah.
really do.
I just love you. Yeah.
That's enough.
Because
Yeah.
like, yeah, check your motives, right? Like,
Yeah.
they, that like those things don't fill you anymore the way they used to. So like our holes are filled with the spiritual. Um, but
But there's two sides to it, because I do think that, like, you and I think, put out a fairly positive vibe.
mhm,
I would say, I mean, that's why we were greatest chair team of all time in the history of recovery
obviously,
kind.
yeah,
And that's not a ego or pride thing. That's just the
not at
truth.
all. It's just
It's
practically
just the
true.
truth. Like, but the thing is that, you know we should neither dampen our spirits nor
Mhm.
pretend to be happier than what we are.
Yeah,
Like, I really do think that there's times where our happiness is our service to somebody else,
mm,
because they might be having such a tough time that we might be the only smile they get that day.
yeah,
And so, to say, like, oh, I'm just pretending to be happy. No, sometimes I'm just a funny person.
yeah. I'm just
And I'm like, yeah, but
yeah,
it's true. Like, and I'm not saying that either one of us is happy all the time. I'm not. You just admitted you weren't.
yeah,
But I do think that we have some joy to share with people in a
yeah,
way that not everybody does.
yeah.
And I my point, though, to all that is that it's not all people pleasing. we
Right.
we can't cut off who we are as a, like, well, that's all people pleasing, because it's
Yeah.
not. But
No.
it's real easy to classify it as that. Like,
And I
some of
know,
me
like,
some of me genuinely wants to make people happy, and
yeah,
that's got nothing to do with a
yeah,
bad motive.
yeah,
It's just like, joy is a commodity to be shared, just like time, just
yeah,
like what water. Like,
yeah. Because yeah, I mean, I've definitely had instances where I have um, um, pretended that I was happier than I was, to try and make someone else happy. That's people pleasing.
mm,
Um, that's me wanting to put on a good face. So now, like, when I feel shitty, like, I do not pretend. I do not fake it
mm,
anymore. And that's being vulnerable and honest. And I think that is inspiring to people too. Like, it's okay that like you're having a shitty day. And I just show up as I am. And like when I am full of joy, like you said, like I love to share it, but I've stopped going to those like extremes
mm,
um of, well, I'm known as the happy, joyous girl, so I'm not allowed to be sad. Like
mm.
that's a horrible burden to put on myself. Way too much burden.
That's a box that will just
Yeah.
break you.
No, no, no. And
No,
I've been
no,
telling her,
no.
no, no, no. Like, oh, you're so bubbly, you're so happy. Like, just wait. You haven't seen me on a bad day. I am human. I have, it's not good. Like I took my 7 month chip. I cried the whole meeting. And like and I was like, whatever. I got snot rolling down my face and I don't care. Like, this is where I'm at right now. Um, and that's such a freedom in itself to just like come as I am, just be who I am. Um, I no longer will fake it. I just that does no service to me. It does no service to anyone else.
I just, for myself, I feel like there was a point where I was swinging the pendulum too far. And I was almost like holding back on actual happiness because I was like, whoa, is this people pleasing? And
Mm-hmm.
and there's a point where it's, you know what? It's actually a service to help someone who's sad feel happier.
Yeah.
Like that is actual
Yeah.
service.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, I like people who have come to me when I'm feeling really bad, who cheer me up. Guess what? It's the best frickin' present you could bring me in the world.
Totally.
Like, and if somebody wants to call that people pleasing, I don't think it is.
No, totally.
But I just thought it was important to maybe mention that because I think
Yeah.
like I do think that those of us who are effervescent
Hmm.
should continue bubbling.
Absolutely. And
Yes.
I don't know if you've experienced this where, um, I've been told it's too much. Um, like
Oh,
or mm, or you
I'm
can
literally the definition
of
of
too
too much.
much. Me too, babe.
Yeah.
Or it's okay, Alex, you can take the mask off now. Like, I know you're not real. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I seriously am. This is who I am right now. Like, I'm this happy. And they're like, no, you can't be.
They're like, tone it down. And they're
I
like, can't you tone it
can't.
down? And I'm like, not if I'm awake.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Like,
you
I'm
don't even
processing.
understand the tiger I'm holding right now.
Like, this is me calm. This is,
Yeah, this is
yeah,
the very
sorry.
best I can do,
Yeah.
and I'm being honest. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But like, yeah, it's
Well,
not a
we could
show.
sit further
No.
apart. We could
Yeah.
sit further apart. Like, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
okay with sitting over there, but I want the good chair.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Woo. Okay, question.
Question?
You want another question?
Give me another question.
Okay. Coming back is not about starting over. It's about continuing the journey from where you truly left off.
Hmm.
Where did your growth pause and how can you begin again with clarity?
Oh goodness. Um, where did my growth pause? I think like before my first relapse, it was right when I left treatment and I was a little baby just thrust into the real world.
Bubble wrap off.
Uh-huh. And I was really scary. I was like, oh, this is so real. Like I actually have to do this. I have to live a sober life. Um, and I was really diligent about like my routine. Um, waking up early in the morning and doing, before I grab my phone, I do my readings, I do my prayers, I do my writings. Um, and I felt like, yeah, like this is okay, like this is something I can do. And then my relapse just kind of came out of left field. Like it was like boom, like that's often how it happens. Like you're up beating the bar going, how did I end up here?
Yeah.
Um, and I think it was like that, putting myself first in early recovery. It's okay to be selfish. I hate saying that. I don't like that word when we're talking about recovery. But like it is important to focus on you. Like you are no help to anyone unless you're healthy. Um, so it was me like yeah, like taking my focus off myself for a quick moment um and then that's how I relapsed. So um now I am um being selfish again in a way where like I'm healing myself so that I can be of service to others. Like I have to do this first. So I'm taking the time to do that now. Um so yeah, I don't know. I think it's just
And
getting back to that like that routine that it's okay to like take some time for yourself. Um and that, you can't give everything all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what do you do, say, on average morning? What is your program for you?
Yeah.
Just
So
for people out there to know.
yeah, absolutely. So I've been kind of creating a new one with my sponsor. Like, to be completely honest, I was slacking again. Um,
Like recently, you mean?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Um, and now my the first thing I do is 7-step prayer. Um, so let God do with me um as he will, so that I may be of help to myself and to others.
And
And
that's like right in bed or as
that's
soon
right in
as you get
bed.
up?
Like, you wake
Uh,
up and yeah, I have it on an app in my phone. So I do grab my phone, but it's strictly for reading purposes. Um, and then reading the daily reflections, and just like starting your day off immediately with recovery is so important. Like, your morning routine is everything, I think.
mm,
And your morning routine is only as good as your nighttime routine. Um,
woo,
now it's writing before bed. It's getting all that shit out of me that through the day, and doing like a proper end of the day check on myself, and was I selfish, was I dishonest, was I fearful, um and then waking up with a fresh clean slate. And like, it's this recovery thing's a 24-hour cycle. Like, you got to be on it um morning and night, and then that's everything in between is easy. And it's a lot easier um, when you're clearing your mind out, and when you're setting yourself up for connection with God throughout the day. So morning and night, that's major. Yeah.
yeah, for me, it's like I don't sleep right if I don't end the day right,
Hmm.
and I'm off a lot of the day if I don't start the day right.
Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super important. I mean,
Yeah.
and for myself, I haven't had a relapse, but one thing that happens, I mean, everybody that I'm close to, anytime anybody relapses, I literally do an inventory of my program.
Mm,
Like I'm like, what am I weak on? What am I
totally.
talking about doing, but not really doing? You
Mm,
know, and just so like last October, I'm like, I'm just not praying and meditating. I'm just not doing it, and then it was like, boom! I've now implemented that in there, and then the great resurrendering of March 2025. Like that was a big turning point for me, where I'm like, okay, I'm doing something wrong. I'm not going to cry like a baby. I'm going to fix it, and I'm going to
absolutely.
move on.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that it's like, just because something isn't right, it doesn't mean that you can't learn from it.
Mm,
You know, like I
that's
spent my
exactly.
whole childhood trying to be perfect
Mm,
math guy in school. Every mistake was just like something off my average. Like it was just
yeah.
a negative thing. It was not like, oh, what can I learn here? It was never like that. It was like, why wasn't I perfect? I really, that was how I looked at it and looked at myself at that point. And now, like I was almost laughing at myself in March.
Mm,
And like that shows a massive change in my psyche, to be
totally.
able to be like, hey, I was like super wrong about a fundamental thing. Another thing happened, the serenity prayer in February,
Mm,
right? It's like, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. I had it backwards. I thought I had to get acceptance and that was going to bring me serenity.
mm.
And and so, like, guess what? You're never gonna have acceptance unless you have serenity. It was like,
Totally.
so it was like about readying myself to radiate all these amazing qualities outwards.
Mm,
And like the problem is I was like, how can I get some of them qualities? Come on, it's just like, why can't I never reach the quality? Could
yeah.
never reach the quality because I was never serene.
Mm-hmm.
I had to bring that peace and
Yeah.
serenity into me. And like I was like kind of genuinely embarrassed for a couple of weeks that everybody I talked to, I'm like, I had that backwards. And everyone's like, I know.
Oh,
And I'm like, I'm
how
like,
do you
I'm
tell
like,
me?
I'm just like, you never thought that for a second? No. And I
No,
was like, I don't know. I think a lot
I'm
more.
more on your page, dude. Like that's totally where I was too.
Yeah.
Once
Oh,
I like accept and once I change everything that I can, then I'll find serenity.
yeah.
No,
And
no,
that's,
no.
and it's like, no, like, get some rest, eat
Serenity
right,
first. Yeah,
exercise, meditate, pray.
yeah,
Guess what? You're probably going to have 10 defects gone. Like,
totally.
you know, like
Yeah,
it's really about us readying our spirit and our
totally.
body. And our
Yeah.
spirit can't be right if the vessel it's inside is all wrong.
Hmm.
You know? And I think that that was just a I was externalizing recovery
Yeah.
when it really can come from within.
All of that. Yeah.
Yeah. And now I'm happy to be wrong all the time. Like, what else am I
Oh,
wrong about? Take me to a meeting. I'll
yes.
find out.
Oh God. When you think you know everything, that's when you're fucked. So
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
I love healthy criticism and tell me. Yeah, because we are really bad at seeing it for ourselves.
I'm really bad. I'm no, I'm really great at seeing it how I would see it
Yeah.
every time. Like if
Yeah.
this is why I think that sponsorship is one of the most essential parts of the program. Is that if you give a bunch of addicts this literature and 2 decades, this program is dead. Like
Mm,
we'll all just be like self-centered. I only see this. It's all about
absolutely.
me.
Yeah.
First thing I see is me, and it should be more about me. I like. You know, and we need sponsorship to be like, whoa, no, no, that's no, no,
Yeah.
no. You can't interpret it like you interpreted life up till now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because our interpretation of life was, why are we not getting what we want?
Mhm.
Wham, wham, baby, baby, wham, wham, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah, like
totally
thank
was.
God for sponsorship because I wouldn't be able to see.
Do you sponsor anybody?
What's that?
Do you sponsor anybody?
Not yet.
Oh, you've got the great sponsorship of 2025 coming up.
Oh,
You're
she's
going to be a
coming.
great sponsor.
I'm so excited.
I
Like I
think, like, honestly, it is the reason it's the 12th step.
yes,
Like, about because it is the completion to the cycle.
absolutely.
Yeah. And you don't have to get to the 12th step to do it, by the way. Don't be
No,
waiting. Don't be
no,
waiting.
absolutely. I'm ready and willing.
Okay.
Cacao, come to me.
There we go. I'm going to send it. I really, I know. Yeah, nothing.
Oh, okay.
I know some, I think I know somebody who would be a great sponsee for you. I'm
Hook
going
me
to talk to her.
up.
I'm
Okay.
going to be like, hey, you got a good sponsor. Next time, I got a really good one here for
Okay,
you.
okay. I
That'd be
love
fun.
that.
Okay. Okay. Relapse reminds us that recovery is not about perfection. It's about returning to the path with deeper awareness. Okay. So how can you walk forward without dragging any shame behind you?
That took a while um, to wrap my little head around. To me, like I look at my oh shit, my computer's gonna die. Oh my god. She's coming with the charger. Okay, I'm gonna lose
Okay.
my audio here for a sec, Milan.
Sure.
I might have to switch to my computer speaker, sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna sound a little bit different now. So sorry, I had to switch my mic over. Um, where were we at?
We were at the question, how can you walk forward without dragging any shame behind you? And you
So
were saying that it took a while.
it took a while, yeah. I came back with a lot of shame, and then it's so funny. We come back, like oh, dragging our feet. The chair is on fire when we're sitting there, and then we look at someone else coming back, and we are just rooting for them. We're so happy. So like, why can I not see myself in that light of like you made it? You are so badass for coming back here, and what an inspiration you are now for that next person. Um, so and it's switching that mindset. Okay, like what's the opposite of feeling that shame? And it's acceptance and love, um, and self love, and then looking at the gift I received. So the gift I received from my relapse was a solid step one. Um, and when I am sponsoring in the future, I'm going to have that relatability too for my sponsees that come to me and say, "Ah, I slipped." And I'll say, "Well, yeah, me too. Let's talk about it. Here's what I learned. Like, what are we going to learn from your situation?" So I think it was a necessary lesson. Um, and I don't carry that shame anymore. And I'm just fucking proud of myself.
I'm so glad you're on the recovery side of things.
Yeah, baby.
You are a precious miracle.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
And by the grace of God, I'm
Yeah.
like it. I owe it all to Him.
Okay. So, for myself, until I got into the program, every time that I failed on my white knuckling experience there, all I did was drag that shame behind me. And in fact, it was like, that it was like a bag of stones by the end. Like it was so all consuming. Like, because until I went for treatment, I didn't really accept addiction as a disease.
Mm,
And if like, and so for anybody out there, it's like, there's no maybe it's a disease. Like, it either is or it isn't. And you just have to like mentally work off the premise of one or the other. But it can't be like, oh, it's a disease when I've pissed you off and I don't want to remember it. But it's not a disease when, I can't stop drinking and you're mad at me. Like, there's it either really is or it isn't. And until I got that into my head, it was an unstoppable ball of shame because I just felt like I was broken and a loser who just couldn't stop. Like
yeah.
I would beat myself up about my lack of self-control. Like it was, they say in the literature, like, it's a moral deficiency, you know. Oh, and like I thought that I was deficient in something. Like I thought I was bad, evil, broken, and just not able to make great decisions. And so now that I'm in the program though, like I know that who I was then is not who I am now. I'm not letting the past define me. I am letting who I am now and my actions going forward define me. And I'm okay with who I am right now. And so that's how I let that bag of shame go. Like they say, you want self-esteem, do esteemable things. Right? Like it's a pretty simple solution that seems really hard to do in the throes of addiction.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah. And then coming in, it's still like, still battling with honesty, anger, and acceptance and tolerance of others. But, through doing the work I've done, man, some of those defects, I really see the far reaching effects of them. And it makes me recoil from them even more. Like it makes me see my part in the world around me from those defects, and that makes me want to pull back a little bit more.
Because we can finally see it all clearly. Um,
Well, I can real like I was too wasted to see the damage I caused you,
me
nor
too.
did I want to look that deeply into the
No,
mirror.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I thought, no, yeah, it's just this, but it's not. It can be this, and then turns into that, turns into that, turns into that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think accepting that it's a disease. That was a huge turning point for me too. Because it's always this. Well, it's my fault. Like it's my self control. It's my self will that like I can't put it down. Um, but the definition of a disease is something progressive and deadly, and that's what it
Mm,
is.
absolutely.
And it's obvious now. Like like if I had the control, then I wouldn't have a disease.
You wouldn't be going to a meeting. You're not at the meeting
Have
because
to
you're
go
like,
to a meeting. And now I want to go to meetings. It's not a
yeah.
habit. but it is still a have to. Like it's still because I need it to survive. But now I find so much joy in recovery.
Mm.
And I remember like my dear father, who has been so supportive. He has been my anchor. Um, and his he didn't have a full grasp on understanding addiction because he's not an addict himself. So um, it's run in my family. It hasn't touched him. Um, but he said to me, Alex, you're so smart. Why? Like, why did this happen to you? And I just explained to him, like, it's because I'm too smart. It's because my brain works a little bit differently. And I couldn't handle all of these big feelings and big thoughts that I had. Um, and my brain, the only way I could turn that off is by picking up. So it is not a lack of intelligence at all.
Mm.
It's complete lack of it's having a disease. You don't blame someone for getting sick, and he totally understands it now. And I thought that was just like a cool perspective of like someone from the outside going, well, why can't you just stop? You're smarter than that.
Mm.
Like,
It's
no,
not intelligence. It's not self-awareness. It's not awareness
I
of the
do
disease.
every time.
Those three things can never keep you straight.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
neither can a water bottle. Okay, I've got a few questions left. Are you open to some more?
Send it. Let's do it.
Okay, so what are the three biggest things you're doing differently this time?
Ooh. Okay.
And they don't have to be in order. You don't have to rank
Yeah,
them.
no, I mean, they wouldn't be anyways. I would say, um, connection, real connection, um, with people in the program, and with people who want to help me and, are not wanting to take anything from me, but just like help build me up. And those are the people that I really needed. And I was afraid. Like I was afraid of real connections because any connection that I made, I lost in addiction, right? And that's so scary of like putting yourself out there and actually making a friend. Like I had no idea how to make friends. The only way I knew how to make friends was over a drink. Um, so that was like a huge shift that like, oh, people are actually love me like for who I am. Um, and giving them the opportunity to love me, like being open enough to accept that love and connection. Um, so connection, leaning on my higher power. Um, and it's this constant, like all day, like thing I have. It's just like anytime I have a moment of quiet or even amidst the chaos, like I'm feeling disease right now, dis-ease. Um, can you help me? Can you help rid this? Help me find joy and serenity in this moment. Um, and sometimes I ask God for hugs, and it is the coolest feeling. Like I just sit there in the quiet and I go like, can I please have a hug right now? And I can like literally feel it surrounding me and like this warm and tingly feeling. I'm like that's what he's there for. He's just there to love me.
I
Um,
love that.
yeah, and try it sometime. It's really cool. um,
Mine comes in a breeze.
ooh, love.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
I had like my first real mystical experience about a month ago.
Yeah.
Mm.
About it.
Huh?
I want to hear about that.
Well, okay. Once are
Yeah,
you
I
done?
mean, my and then yeah, connection, higher power, um, and then self-love and forgiveness. Um, I mean, these are things we've already like all touched on, but just kind
Mm.
of putting them all together.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Um, and like it's okay to have a shitty day and it's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to have and like cannot honestly say I'm completely rid of that voice in the back of my head, of that obsession. Um, I still have work to do to get there. But now if that little, it's not like I want to do it. I don't like want to drink or use drugs, but I have this little voice that goes like, "Hey, you could probably do this." Like, mm. um, in early recovery when I kept relapsing, as soon as that voice came up, I would be like, "Okay, you're right." Button. Now I'm like, okay, I actually have the strength to like ignore it. Why don't I just try ignoring it and to put my energy into something positive? So I'm basically retraining my brain to go like, you have that thought. Okay, now we're going to do something nice and warm and cozy and loving for yourself instead. Um, and look at that, I go to bed sober. Um,
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, yeah, I think those are my top three.
I love that. That was great.
Okay, your mystical is
Okay, I'm basically like Forrest Gump these days. I walk more than most people in existence. Like I'm doing like 20K a day.
trees.
Yeah, one of the things I do is I'm doing my prayer while I'm walking. And so I'm like out in nature and I'm going through my prayer and I'm kind of rounding this corner up to my like favorite part on our road that's really beautiful, like an old growth big tree and mountains in the valley and so I'm like praying my gratitudes and I'm getting to the end and then I just like kind of like almost in a trance where I look up and I'm like, whoa, like kind of at my favorite part and I'm like, wow, thank you for, this beauty here today that I'm surrounded by because it's, the mountain's tall beside me and like I'm literally immersed in the life of this planet, in my mind at that point. And it goes, whoosh, there's this little wind, right? And like, poof, and I'm like, whoa, I'm like, thank you for this sign. And it goes, does it again, right after I said thank you. And then I'm like, whoa, I'm like, and now I'm like goosebumps and almost tears. And I'm like, thank you for this connection. It's like, and I'm like, oh my God. And I'm just like, thank you. And then it blows right in front of me, makes this like little weird dust devil, and comes back and just like gently blows the back of my head. And I was just like, oh my God. I'm like, that was as real as any other moment and connecting point in my life. And then it's happened again twice, two more times. Like, oh, same place, same thing. And I'm like, I'm down with it.
I'm
I'm
so
down. I'm down. I'm down. Like, I'm just like, great. I'm like, great.
oh,
And it's just been awesome. And it really, to me, really manifested at once I started praying gratitudes
mm,
in all circumstances. Like I met this lady in mid-March at one of these meetings that I've been going to down here, and she does a phenomenal job at showing gratitude in every circumstance. Like even for the shittiest day, like it's like, oh, thank you for this lesson today. Like thank you for the opportunity to grow in this way. And when you can bring gratitude into every circumstance, that's when life transforms. Yeah. Are you still there?
yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought your my lips were moving, but I was like,
Oh no, was I lagging? I'm sorry.
no, no, I couldn't. No, I couldn't hear you though, and I didn't know if your audio had kind
Oh,
of. But
I know. Now it sucks. Okay.
no, no, it's great. It's,
I'm grateful for my audio.
you're grateful to learn some patience right now
I'm
and acceptance. Yeah. Okay, I got two more questions. You ready?
okay.
What has humility taught you since your return?
Oh, it has taught me uh, that it's okay to make a mistake. Um, it's okay to be honest and vulnerable about those things. And it's okay to not be perfect. And that was it as a perfectionist. That's a tough one. um, I I looked at other people's recovery and was like, why am I not where they're at? Like, what am I missing? Why am I not getting it? And it's because I wasn't like focused on my own. I was focused on their recovery more than mine. Um, so just that, yeah, that like acceptance that, um, like that I am not perfect and that I'm just trying. And that's all we have to do is like just keep trying. Um, so that, yeah. Um, and to, not carry that shame with me anymore. And that like my purpose and duty on this planet now is to share my experience, strength, and hope so that others can recover too. So like it's not all about me. Like I'm really doing this for the next person. Um, yeah.
I love that.
Mhm.
Woo, man, I almost want to stop right there because I think that that's actually the perfect place to. We're not going to do another question just because, that was just amazing. Um, it is so great to see you again. And you're looking like you're doing fabulous. We're laughing like you're doing fabulous. I mean,
I'm feeling great. I
yeah,
love you so much. This was so good.
this was amazing, and I really hope to have you back soon.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, we could pick another topic and
Cool.
set something up.
Yes.
And for everybody out there, tune in next episode for more recovery fun. Bye bye, everybody. I love you tons. Please help us help others. If you like what you've seen here today, please subscribe and share this podcast and help us get to 100 followers. We're looking for interaction with our audience. So please email recoveryfreedomrising@gmail.com or contact Milan South Okanagan Starcic on Facebook with questions, topic suggestions, or just comments. We'd love to hear from you.